Hi everybody, Dr. Lisa Thompson here, and welcome to another edition of The Doctor Is In Live, coming to you from my home office outside of Eden Prairie, Minnesota on a gorgeous Monday afternoon. I can't believe we're hitting into fall, and today as I was driving back from my doing rounds on my practice, I get the privilege of driving through a lot of farming areas and just seeing the corn turning that golden wheat color against a bright blue sky. It's one of the most spectacular things you can ever see. Hi, Junie. Thanks for watching. So what we're going to cover today is a topic that nobody really talks about. But if you understand what I'm going to be sharing with you with regards to blogging, it is going to really transform how you do your blog and how long you can keep your readers engaged on your blog. And that is understanding how people read blogs. Now, this is totally different from when you were reading and learning how to read back in school back in the day. Because today, in this fast-paced digital society, people do a lot more skimming than in-depth reading, where you would, I remember when I would be back in school and we'd have to read a book, you would read it from cover to cover, chapter by chapter, page by page. In this day and age, that's not the case. So what I'm going to teach you today is how people read blogs, both on a desktop laptop and on a mobile device. And understanding this, yep, you're on. We're on live right now. I'm so glad you're here, Junie. And, Junie brings up a really good point here. Hi, Sam. Glad to see you're on. Sam is so awesome. But if you ever want to be on the live when I'm doing my lives, Facebook Lives, all you need to do is if you click up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a notification box. If you tap on that, what that will do is that Facebook will alert you whenever I'm going live. That way we can sit and interact and have a conversation together. So let's get back to how people read on a blog. So this is very, very important. So I'm going to start first with the desktop and then how you read it on a mobile device. Both of them are similar, but there's just a slight difference when we read on a mobile device versus a desktop laptop. So let's start with the desktop laptop. So when people are reading a blog on the desktop laptop, the first thing they're going to look at is the headline or the subject of your blog. And then they're going to look at the featured image of your blog to see if it's something that's going to make them stop and look. Hi, Shauna. Great that you're watching today. And when they do that, the next thing they're going to look at is the social share buttons and the comments. Now, this is very important. About a couple weeks ago, I talked about in one of my live shows why you need to have your counts displayed on your social share buttons. Okay, it's very important that you have that because the higher the count, it's a psychological indicator. So if you've got a blog post that's got 20, 30, 40 shares, that's going to make people stop and give them pause, okay? See, what Google does, and I got to tell you this, what Google does here is that the longer people stay on your blog, the more love Google's going to give you, and the more your site's going to rank in the search engine, especially any type of particular blog posts. So you want to make sure that people's eyes are lingering and staying on your blog post for as long as possible. That's why you need those numbers showing on your social share buttons. They're also going to be looking at the comments. Okay, again, psychological indicators. If you've got a blog post that's got 20 or more comments, they're going to be like, what is this about? And so once they've looked at the social share buttons and the comments, they're going to scroll down to the bottom and see what people are commenting on. Okay, so they're doing a quick skim. So once they go in and they see how many people are commenting and the types of comments, they're then going to scroll back up, and then what they're going to look for are subject headings. And they're going to find a subject heading that is going to strike their eyes. So if they're looking in your blog content and you have a subject heading that catches their eye, they're going to stop and they're going to read that particular subject section. And if it really gets them interested, then they're going to go back and reread the article entirely. Okay? So people are looking, skimming for main points, or if you have a video that's on your blog, they'll scroll down, they'll see the comments, and then they'll probably watch the video and then go back and reread the article. So that's basically how people read on a desktop, on a mobile device. Now, this is very important because I just read a statistic that about 60 to 70% of people who read your blog are doing it from a mobile device. So when people are looking at a mobile device, what they're going to do is they're going to skim the top, look at the title, they're going to look at the image, and then they're going to scroll all the way down. They're going to see how long the article is. They're going to look for the comments, and then they're going to go back up. They're going to scroll back up, look at any section headings that'll stop. They'll look, and then they'll go back and reread the article in depth. The reason you need to understand this is that over the next couple of days, okay, Tuesday through Friday, I'm going to be giving you my very best design tips that are going to help you make sure that you have the subject headings, how they should be formatted and structured, the paragraph size. We're going to be talking about clickable links and how you need to strategically place them. And the color you need. Color's very important, guys. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. And we're also going to be talking about, you know, do you need to do video content or do we need to do text? How much text do we need to have in it? How do we break up text? Where do we place our images to break up the text? We're going to be talking all about that this week on the different Facebook Lives. And we're just going to devote one session to each of those sections, because what you want people to have is a great user experience when they come to your blog, that they can read it. It's easy to read. It allows them to take action right away. And more importantly, if they're going to get engaged, comment, share, like your posts, and they're going to want to eventually opt in and eventually become a loyal customer. So that's what we need to be focusing on when we are blogging. And you need to understand and get in the mindset of the reader, because you want your content to stand out and be the star of the show. I want you to view your blog content like a glittering diamond, okay? Thank you, Junie. I'm glad you're getting value. And when you see your content like a glittering diamond, then everything else in the blog, as far as the design and where you put your call to actions, your social share buttons, your clickable links, everything like that is going to make sense. And it's going to supplement and make your content stand out. It's kind of like the black velvet. You know, when you have a glittering diamond, they always put it against black velvet so that it's easier. So it really makes the content the star. Now, Sam asks a good question where he says, do you end your blog post with a specific question about the topic that you want your reader to answer in the comments section to build those comments? Excellent question, and yes, I do. I do that a lot in my blogs, where I'll sit there and say, which part did you like best? Which part are you doing right now? Or I'll say, which one are you planning to do? And what this does is when you give them a question, you know, they're going to be more than likely to answer. And this is a really great one if you're first starting blogging. And I really recommend people start their first blog posts using inspirational quotes or motivational quotes from some of their favorite authors in personal development or in their niche. And then what you can say is, which one of these quotes resonated with you the most? Which ones did I leave out? And that is a really great way for people to actually come in and really enjoy the conversation. So always ending, you know, and Sam really brings a great point here, is that we really need to ask questions in the content itself, because what that does is if you get a really good engagement rate and people are asking questions and interacting with each other, that is going to make, Google's going to see that engagement piece and they're going to give you more love. It's going to raise you in the search engine so you can get more of that free traffic, targeted traffic. And you're going to have a lot more people wanting to come back and comment because they're going to make some friends on your blog as well. And you're going to build this little tribe and community around your blog, and it's going to really take a life of its own. So make sure you stay tuned this week where I'm going to give you my very best blog design tips so that you can create a vibrant community where people can come, share comments, share your content, and you're just going to build something really, really special. Did you get value from today's show? Leave a comment and share. And if you would like to know more about where I learned all of these blogging techniques and the platform that I'm using, what I want you to do is click on the link you see above this video in the video description, and you will get all the information there. You know, I'll put it in right when I am done with this live show. All right, awesome. Junie thought that was a great question, too, that Sam asked. And I'm really glad, you know, I love it when people come on my live shows like this. And I really love doing the live shows because that way I can really interact with you guys and you can give me great questions. And I love it. I love answering questions like this. So with that said, make sure you tune in tomorrow because I'm going to talk to you about clickable links, okay? If you're not getting any lead flow on links to your blog, it's because you're probably not doing one thing correctly with clickable links. And it's so easy to correct. And I promise you that if you start doing what I'm going to teach you tomorrow, you're going to see results on your clickable links. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. And with that said, have a great Monday, guys. Enjoy your evening. And we'll talk tomorrow.